Hello, hello, hello. This is M, CEO of the Soul Focus Group, Super Coach. And once again, excited and blessed to be able to have these conversations with you, to be able to share what I've developed throughout my life, what I've been blessed to develop in terms of understanding and knowledge of things. So I feel fortunate to have people from around the world appreciate what I've done with my life, to appreciate the struggles that I've gone through and the lessons I've learned that I can share with other people, hopefully that they don't have to go through the same difficulties as that I have, and their lives can be a whole lot better. So I start off by just saying thank you for listening, thank you for tuning into these videos and keeping up with me, keeping up with the Soul Focus Group and all the things that we are doing, all the wonderful things that we are doing at the Soul Focus Group, what we are working to achieve and to bring into fruition. Before I get started, I want to send a shout out to my line brothers. 34 years ago, I crossed over what we call the burning sands of our fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Ruru, and my 12 line brothers, 11 line brothers, our line name was 12 Below. We all went over together that May the 13th. And, nobody talks to you about how fast all this stuff goes, right? But man, life goes fast. By the time you reach 40 years old, this thing starts speeding up so fast, you look up and you're in your 50s, right? And you're wondering to yourself, where did all of that time go? Why didn't, sometimes I wonder, why didn't anybody sit me down and tell me, look, Em, this thing is going to go fast after you get to 35 or 40. And so what you might want to do is you might want to slow down and start taking some deep breaths and really appreciating the moments that you have with yourself and the people around you, because this thing will go so fast that you will look up and one day you will be 55. One day you will be 34 years old in the fraternity, and you won't even know where all that time went. So to all my line brothers, I love you. Thank you for being the brother from another mother. Thank you for the support that you've given me in my life, and I'm glad to be that for you as well. I'm just thankful for that. Really, I really am. So this morning I want to talk to you about fear, and I want to do sort of a series on the conversation because I think there's a lot to be learned about fear. But before we go into the conversation about what is fear, or I want you to know that you are the primary tool of your life. Until you learn how to utilize the tool that is you, then life will continue to seem difficult. It will continue to be difficult. And you will continue to find yourself feeling unhappy and unfulfilled. You have to learn how to use you more than you learn how to use any other technology on this planet. You are probably the highest grade technology that exists on this planet, and yet the average one of us knows very little about how to maximize the full potential of the technology that we call ourselves. Now, I want to say this, and I think it's important for you to get this, because, for a lot of years I worked and still worked in the anti-racist category of social justice, doing anti-racism work. And what that simply meant was we were working to educate and raise people's awareness about what racism is, what it does, and how it affects us. And so I spent so much of my life educating people on that. And I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to be mentored by people like Ron Chisholm, Diana Dunn, Kimberly Richards, David Billings, and so many others at the People's Institute, because we were mentored by them. And I'm thankful because so much of the wisdom that I have has been departed came from them. So when we went on to create the Soul Focus Group, was because we saw something different than the People's Institute saw. No bad blood or anything like that, just saw something different. You know, sometimes we get upset with each other when we see something different, but the reality is all of us see something different. And if we're holding true to what it is that we see and understand what our job is as a leader, as leaders, what makes us leaders is the fact that we see something different. What makes a leader is the fact that a leader has vision that no one else has. And so the primary job of that leader is to get up front and lead people to what they see that nobody else sees. And depending on how passionate you feel about it, how convicted you feel about what you see. See, some things you see and you feel so compelled by that you have to warn people about what you see, or you want them to benefit from what you see. So you have to get up front to lead them to what you see, so that as many people as possible can benefit from the gift of what you see. Now I want you to get that. That's what makes us a leader. You have no business being up front in anything if you don't have a different vision than that already exists. If the vision you have does not go further than the vision of those who came before you, you have no business being up front. You need to stay behind and follow until you have that vision. Now, vision is not something that, you know, people say, well, I was just born with this vision. I believe vision is something we develop. Some of us are born with insight, specific insight around certain things, but we still have to develop it. We still have to sharpen it. I mean, I've always been extremely intuitive. I've always been extremely perceptive, as they say. And I've always seen stuff that no one else saw and asked questions that no one else asked. However, I still needed to do some work to develop that sight. To develop not just the sight, to develop the confidence to walk in that sight. Because a lot of us have sight but don't have confidence to walk in the sight. In other words, we are constantly changing our view, changing our position, because we haven't developed the confidence to stand on the vision that we have for ourselves, the vision that we see. We are so busy trying to please people until our vision gets diluted, our vision gets changed into something less than what it originally is. So at the Soul Focus Group, we have a vision of human solidarity. And I know this is all, I'm gonna get to fear, because that's what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about fear. In fact, I'm gonna be taking you on my run with me and continuing this conversation when I finish the run. But we are on a journey of fear. And here's what I want to say. I said all to say this, that a part of our misconception in all of this is that we believe that we have come here to fight. We came into the world to fight to save the world, or we came into the world to fight to save our people, to fight to preserve humanity. And what I discovered, and many of other people are beginning to discover too, is that we didn't come here to fight. The strongest power that we have within our arsenal is the power of creation. We came here to create. So I oftentimes say that every person here in this world has been invited into this world. You cannot get into this game, the game of life on earth, unless you are invited. And the way that you are invited is someone prayed for an answer to a prayer or an answer to a problem, and you showed up as the solution. Now, that solution has to be created from within you. It has to be generated from you, inside of you to outside of you. Requires a focus on creation. That's our greatest power, the power to create, not destroy. But yet, when we are overcome by fear, we focus on the power to destroy more than we focus on the power to create. And now, don't get me wrong, that even in our destructive nature, we end up creating stuff, but we create stuff that we don't want. And so we're going to talk about fear in a few minutes. Stay tuned. I'm M, Super Coach. I'll be talking with you later. Peace.